Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Spaz Out Podcast, episode 4. I am your fucking host, Caleb King, and right next to me in real life, I have Robbie Bland.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. I'm Robbie Bland.
Not in real life, Christopher McCauley.
What's up? That's me.
And our very special guest, Faith Duckworth. Say hello.
I may or may not be a lesbian.
That's true. Now, a little bit of context. Chris is in Discord right now, and we are not recording in real life. A little bit of a mix-up there. It should be fine.
It will be fine.
We're hoping it should. Yeah, we're hoping it should be fine.
No, it will be fine. I'm an audio wizard. Trust me.
Yeah, Chris is an audio wizard.
I'm so good that I downloaded only 5 viruses before trying to
downloads
program.
Actually trying to get a software to record his mic accidentally downloads 5 viruses, including Yahoo powered.
I currently still have Yahoo powered on my computer that I can't uninstall. So
okay.
Yeah.
So Chris currently has a virus right now. Didn't get multiple viruses. He currently has a virus.
Well, I mean, I should be fine because my computer. You know what? It's fine. I don't care. Viruses or not, it is podcast time.
Okay.
So Faith has been a longtime friend of the show and a longtime friend of both Caleb and I in real life. Today we have her on to talk about a very special topic to all of us. Caleb?
Feminism.
Wow!
Yes, the infamous, the well-known movement of the women, and the rights to come along with it.
I think we should go ahead and give Faith a little bit of a chance to introduce herself before we just jump right on into the topic of the day, should we not?
Okay, so my name's Faith. I don't really know what to talk about. I've known Caleb and Robbie for a while, as well as Chris. And yeah, I decided I was going to join these fucking faggots in their podcast.
We brought her here because she's a girl.
Yeah.
She's a feminist.
Y'all needed, they needed
we need a feminist lesbian.
a diverse person.
Yeah, we needed diversity on the podcast, so we didn't seem like bad people.
On this podcast, we have representation. Both sides of the argument.
But I'm still going to get talked shit about, so I mean...
I'll try and keep it fair, 100%.
It's important to note that she's not a purple hair bitch like we talked about in the first episode.
Purple hair.
Those people are not invited on the show.
That embodies the personality of a purple-haired bitch, and not the physical. It's purple-haired bitch is a stereotype, is what I'm saying, and there are exceptions to purple-haired bitches.
How do you feel about green-haired bitches, Caleb?
They're good. And Chris. Anyways,
just hit him home.
Anyways, so I guess I'll start off with an opening statement of feminism, unless Faith wants to do it. You want to do it, Faith?
No, it's your show. You can go ahead.
Go ahead. All right. In my opinion, of course, everything I say in this podcast is gonna just assume that I said before what I said. In my opinion, but in my opinion, I think feminism is a almost dead movement. Very little I seen practice. They used to be all. I don't mean to just use it like independent or like individual circumstances or experiences to back up my claims, but they used to be all up in my Twitter, like all in my fucking DMs,
circling it back around,
like all in my fucking timeline and shit like that. But I have not seen a single one. Like I've still been tweeting the same shit. I've still been tweeting the faggot word, but they have just disappeared. I haven't seen them, and I don't think it's a necessary movement at the time. And
in the West,
it definitely is needed in a lot of countries, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is necessary here because I do think that to a relatively small degree that men do have it worse off than women, and I guess that's where we can start the conversation off, huh?
All right, Faith, introduce yourself and say why you're a feminist.
Okay. I'm a feminist because multiple points in my life, especially like one major point in my life, which I'm not going to get into because it's a little too personal, has made me kind of realize how much men are kind of glorified in a way, which I'm not saying all men are. the thing is, like, I'm not a neo-Nazi feminist where I'm like, oh my god, screw men, they all need to die. We just need to have a planet of all women. Yeah. Purple-haired bitches mentality.
Those are our favorite feminists.
No, what I'm for is, I guess you could say, gender equality. Like, I'm here for women and men to be looked at the same way, where it's not looked down on if a man, like, stays home instead of his wife staying home or anything. Like,
right on.
I don't want masculinity or femininity to be, like, a huge pressing issue that, like, either need to be kept safe in a way, I guess.
Well, I completely agree with that. Is why I identify as an egalitarian.
I was gonna say
egalitarian,
that.
libertarian, what
like
the
that.
hell? Caleb's whatever. He's just
Egalitarian, referring to gender equality, while feminism revolves around women's rights, and so I think women have enough rights, and I think men just need a little bit bump up because of two issues, which is suicide rate is a problem, but it's a indirect problem that we can't fix. What we can fix is something like what's it called? Child custody. Child custody.
I was gonna talk.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about child
yeah.
custody, and how
You
the
should
absurd
give-
amount of rate of men that don't get their fucking kids. It's kind of ridiculous. Again, I'll never prepare myself for an episode. Not a cunt. Like, this episode's not like a debate type thing. That would be boring as fuck, and no one would watch it. So again, never gonna prepare myself for an episode. But I know very little statistics from memory, but I can fact check everything on a computer right here. So if we have to fact check any statistics, I can search it up on the spot. So
Finish your thought about child custody laws.
geez. Okay, yeah. Wait, I did.
I do feel that it's a little biased, like, floating towards the moms most of the time, which I do think that's a problem that needs to be fixed, honestly. I don't think that the mom is always the right decision for full custody, because it's usually swayed in their way.
Like a purple hair bitch. They don't need no kids.
In many places, a woman could actually rape a man and sue him for custody, even though he didn't consent to have
Jesus,
that child.
yeah. Very small percentage. I don't like to bring up cases like that because it's very niche.
It is a little bit of a small thing, but I always feel like when you want to talk about feminism, that's something that needs to be brought up. Yes. But I personally, like Caleb, believe that feminism is not something that is inherently needed in most Western nations, mainly because I believe that women and men have equal rights here in the United States of America. I would argue, though, the problem is more of a social stigma, and you can't cure that with any kind of movement. That doesn't go away. That's something that passes with time.
Definitely in office situations. There are of course there are disadvantages and advantages of being men and women, and there's not going to be ever a time where they're going to be equal because we're biologically different. But in an office setting like Google, where they actively try and make women better than men, so or not better. What am I saying? More advantageous, give them more advantages. Is that a better word or a better phrase? That's a little bit fucked up.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, women have to deal with issues like sexual harassment, and you see where I'm getting at, like advantages and disadvantages. But there's no, I mean, I hear a lot of the like as a solution for sexual harassment or rape is to increase the awareness of rape. Like, we don't know that that rape exists.
Yeah.
We definitely know that all men definitely know in America that rape is a thing.
It was an open secret in Hollywood for decades. That was covered up by both men and women.
Well, anyways, educating everyone is not gonna stop sexual harassment or stop rape. What's going to stop it is like increased policing of it, or not policing, or punishment for it.
They need to stop letting rapists
should get more time in jail.
I wanted to quickly go back to Robbie's point about feminism not necessarily being needed in the U.S.
Yeah.
I don't believe that we need a strong feminist movement in the U.S. as much as there needs to be more feminist movements in other countries where women are more oppressed and they're seen as like they're not allowed to be sexual as men are, not just because of like religious purposes, but because of societal standards. Like, that bothers me in a way. Like, that's one of the reasons why I'm a feminist. Feminist isn't just for where you live.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
for
okay,
women
okay.
across the world.
Yeah,
that
that makes sense.
Yeah, like, I totally agree with you guys that some feminist movements are kind of stupid as fuck. Like, it's like, oh, we need to tell our kids not to rape. Where it's like,
Yeah.
they should know
Okay,
not to
yeah,
fucking
sure.
rape people, but, like, we do need to increase our, like, sentencing for rapists. Like,
Yeah.
that kid, Brock Turner, I think.
Oh,
Brock
No,
Turner,
I have
who
no
got...
idea about that whole case.
He was... Yeah, he was like, you can say it, but Brock Turner got off with basically nothing because he was quote unquote missing his college experience because he raped girls.
Now let's talk about Brock Turner for a second here. I don't think Brock Turner is inherently a feminist issue. I think Brock Turner's issue is that he comes from a wealthy lineage and his parents have the ability to say, hey, we're wealthy, don't put our son in prison, boo-hoo, bee-hee, ha-ha-ha. And that's why he got off so easy, is because he's from a rich family.
Which is a whole different problem.
He was a football player, so he was like valuable to his college.
Yeah, I don't think that he got off because of any kind of male privilege. I think if he had been, from a poor family, he'd be gone for life.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he'd be locked away for the rest of his life if he was poor as shit.
And that's another problem in which the justice system fails. But I mean, of course, women deserve more rights in almost every other country except for America.
Canada.
Well, I mean,
maybe the UK.
yeah. I mean, those are, Canada and the UK. Robbie said, y'all might not hear them.
When I'm thinking of like women's rights here that we need to kind of like get going more is I'm sick of men deciding whether or not I can do certain things with my own body. Like men deciding what birth control should be priced at. Men putting luxury taxes on tampons, which like I can't fucking decide if I want to bleed through my goddamn vagina. Like I can't, that's not a luxury.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it's like there are men in Senate that are saying like, oh no, we can't allow abortion. Like even if you got raped or like if this happened, if some dude like got you pregnant on purpose to blackmail you, no circumstances, you can't get an abortion.
Yeah. I think that's less of a problem with like men versus female and more of a problem of just old fucking idiots in the government.
Well, not just that, but there's like younger male candidates in politics that are advocating for no abortion, or they're advocating against like basic female problems, like problems that us women see.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous seeing like, that's what a lot of women say is like, it's horrible to know that a man can decide what we can do with our own bodies, and we barely have any women in power, like famous women or anybody like speaking up for it. They want to talk about all these like sexual allegations and everything, but they don't want to talk about other problems whenever they're faced.
Yeah.
Like it just annoys me.
And we should just be louder about those things. That's the solution to it. It's like we are the government basically. Like we can police the government.
Like that's one good thing about America is like we do kind of get to decide what happens with our nation.
Yeah, we just don't.
The problem is most people just say, my vote doesn't matter anyways. I'm not going to vote. And then their vote actually doesn't matter because they didn't exercise their American right to vote.
Caveman, me not vote. My vote don't count.
It's fucking cancer.
I can agree about the abortion thing. We talked about abortion for like a good 20 minutes in one of our pre-shows, which isn't saved, so people can't access that. But we all pretty much agreed that abortion can be necessary in certain circumstances. It isn't something that should be outright illegal. It's something that needs to be regulated more than anything.
To me, it's that I think abortion's a touchy subject because of like the situations that a woman can be in, or that like the person who got her pregnant can be in.
I think there should be a certain criteria for
like if it's just a woman
that you have to match.
If it's just a woman who was like, oh, I thought I was okay with having a baby, but like now I'm not. do have the baby and adopt it, like put it into adoption. But it's like, if it's a woman who, let's say you're a woman, your boyfriend gets you pregnant.
Yeah.
4 months later, you find out that he's a convicted serial killer and
Jeez.
that he like had all these problems. He raped you and that's how you got pregnant. Like all that kind of stuff. I just feel that there's special circumstances.
Yeah.
Spaz out is the home to extreme examples.
Yeah.
Rapists and serial killers.
Rapists and serial killers. What? Okay, so wait, Chris, are you even here?
Yeah, I'm still here. You guys have just been dominating this conversation.
Jesus,
Sorry.
I feel like
Christ.
I
You
can't
can talk
even. I
whatever
feel
you
like
want, dude.
it's just hard to throw myself in this.
Yeah. What do you think about babies being murdered?
What do you think about
Wow.
baby murder?
Gee, I think that baby murder is bad. End of conversation.
Okay,
Now,
good. All right.
So
all right,
are we?
Chris,
Are we?
can't talk. Anyways.
And there it is, folks. That's my contribution. Fuck.
That'll be the last time
so
you hear from Chris.
correct me if I'm wrong, but have we talked about the wage gap in this conversation at all?
No.
Or
We're gonna get
wage
there.
gap
Just you
perception?
wait.
Oh, just you wait. Why should I wait?
I was gonna say
now's my time to shine.
Let me finish this real quick before we get off the thing of abortion, right? I'm pretty sure, like I'm 99% sure, it's 100% legal to just leave your child at a fire station or the police station.
I thought you were gonna say like just leave your child, like just leave them.
I'm
somewhere.
pretty sure it's like I'm pretty sure it's completely legal. So if you
Yeah, it's no questions asked, honestly.
yeah, so if you're like, oh, I can't have this kid because of financial problems, put it in a fucking fire station, dude. It's free. It's fucking free. I mean, what? I mean,
Cheap ass over here.
I mean, you kind of gotta fucking.
Put that kid in the orphanage system. No one's ever gonna love it anyways.
Well, I mean, it's I don't know. It's I mean, you still gotta split your vagina open, but that's not free.
C-section.
Yeah. Either way, it's gonna suck for you. So, I mean, fuck. Chris, take it away. Say something.
God damn
For
it.
Christ's sake.
Okay, well, now it's time to throw myself in there. So, I actually want to start this off because it's less talking for Chris. But Faith, how do you feel about the quote, like the wage gap? I can't give hard, definite statistics about this, but I do have an opinion on the matter. But I would like to hear what you have to say first, so we can see if we agree.
Okay, honestly, I don't feel that the wage gap needs to be fought as hard anymore, since it is like less obvious. Like there's less of a difference between it. I do know that in some areas of pay, like there's female boxers that they'll do more fights than male boxers will. They'll like get beat up the same amount and everything,
Yeah.
and they get paid less for doing that.
Well, that just has to do with entertainment. Like, who brings in more viewers?
Not just that, but like there's even doctors, like female doctors, who get paid less than male doctors. They can be working the same amount that they are. They can take overtime just like the other doctors do, and they get paid less specifically just because they're a woman. And it gets fought that like, well, women get maternity leave, so like it shouldn't matter that their pay gets cut a little bit less than men do because men don't take leave like that when they have a baby. Like, I know that that's really a point that's fought when it comes to wage gap against the woman in the situation. But there's a lot of women who can't afford to even take the maternity leave because of how, like, less their pay is.
Yeah, I mean, I've never, ever, ever heard a case where a man and a female have the same exact job and then the woman gets paid less. If that ever does happen, sue whoever you're working for. That's fucking illegal.
It is illegal, according to the Equal Pay Act, I believe, to pay anyone less based on gender.
Or race.
Yeah, I don't know about the doctor example, but the boxing example, the acting example, anything to do with the entertainment industry all comes down to contracts and how well you negotiate it. Like Caleb said, it's kind of about who can bring in the most viewers. Like recently there was an article circulating that like Keanu Reeves got paid more for a reshoot for a movie than one of the actresses in the movie. I don't know who the actress is, and I'd never heard of her before I saw that article. That's why Keanu Reeves got paid more, because he brings in the money. Like he is the big name that people go there to that movie to see, and obviously his agents negotiated for higher pay. Again, I don't know about the doctor example. I have no proof for that, and we can maybe fact check it later. But as far as I know, to my understanding, it is illegal to do that. And if that is happening anywhere, like Caleb said, fucking sue.
Yeah.
So about like the legality of that issue and everything, there are instances where if you do try to challenge your employer about that, they can just be like, oh, well, you don't put in as much work as this person does, or like your work ethic isn't as good as this person's is, so you can't compare yourself to this person.
Well,
and there's really like, besides your hours, there's really no way you can prove your morality to
that would have to deal with pay raise or like,
yeah.
So like if you're working the same exact job, they can't be like, oh, you're working less hard, so you're not getting paid $11 an hour.
And see, that's the thing too, like women sometimes will like be, I mean, a lot of people get turned down for raises just because people are cheap asses. But like a lot of women have more challenging times getting raises than men do, because what I've seen a lot is like men in the workplace like to kind of buddy up with each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you guys being guys, you can't tell me that you don't hang out with other guys who have a little bit of a similar interest with you guys and you all just like, oh dude, this is so cool, we all get along.
Yeah.
Women have a harder time relating to people because we try to relate to people emotionally, not just like with our interests and everything.
I mean, that's why I think again, not sexist Caleb, but I think men are better salesmen or salespeople than
because they can
women.
relate to people
because
better.
because they're better with that kind of communication.
I think like what happens in the workplace is that favoritism gets played in male dominated industries. So if you like work in an oil company and you have mostly male figures that are higher than you, then like Bella just shot me. If you have like male dominated authority, then it's going to be harder for you to get closer to a higher status than most of the other men in your job, just because it's easier for those men to relate to their boss. And it's not like necessarily like every man's fault. It is kind of like a to the point like corporate, I guess, deal.
Okay, Faith, so I want to pose you the question then. If men in the workplace are better at relating to coworkers and essentially being more adept at working in their environment than women are, is it actually sexist for those men to sometimes make more money than those women?
Robbie, I actually want to punch you. I mean, you do bring up a good point. I do think that if anybody isn't doing good in their field, as well as other people are, as well as their coworkers are, then no, they shouldn't be paid as much as like the leading employees are, if that makes sense. But like, I don't think that men should just always get paid more than women just because they're relatable.
Of course not. I mean, look at what's her face from the UFC, the
Ronda Rousey?
Yeah, she makes a shit ton of money, more than a lot of the male fighters do. But women do in some fields make more money than men. I'm sure you can look up statistics for female-dominated areas where
the
women
cosmetic
make
industry.
a shit ton more money. But I want to continue this train of thought that, like Caleb said, where
purple hair bitches.
Men are sometimes better able to communicate and empathize, I guess, with coworkers. And getting a job, as Caleb pointed out in our episode 1, college debate, getting a job is mostly being a people person. It's the same way getting a raise and, getting more work is being able to cooperate with your boss and get those hours and that time in. If that's the point we're going to go with, then I think it's justified in most cases when men sometimes make more money than women.
I like the episode 1 plug-in. That was fucking awesome.
So
yeah, of course.
So let me speak because it's been like a 5-minute gap again. I'm terrible at talking on this episode. Apparently, no, it's okay. It's my own fault for not jamming in and stopping the whatever. So my opinion
Caleb
on the wage
told
gap
Chris that he's
really
not allowed
is
to
that
talk as much and
think-
interrupt people. So Chris is just trying to be nice.
I never said that. I
so-
actually never said that.
So the what I feel in this like matter is that The wage gap doesn't really, but by wage gap, some people think that there's a gap, whereas if a woman and a man occupy the same position or whatever, then women will make less money than men simply because the world hates all women, right? But like, or that's extremified. But what I'm saying is, there's no intrinsic law that states that women get paid less than men or men make more than women in the same position. Now, you can argue that it's because men work more hours or men work higher paying professions than women or that less women work than men because of maternity. That's all well and good. But what I'm saying is that because someone tweeted this the other day, I'm pretty sure Robbie retweeted it. It was kind of
It was probably me. My whole Twitter
it was kind of
and shit
it was
posts.
it was kind of brilliant, and I'd never thought about it this way. So imagine a world where a wage gap is real. Pretend it's this one. So the wage gap actually exists. Now imagine that women get
the
paid.
wage gap exists, everybody.
Shut up.
End of podcast.
It doesn't. But anyways, so now imagine that women make, let's say, 10% less than men. So $100,000 salary, women make $90,000, men make $100,000. That's great. So if women get paid less than men, then why would anyone hire men at all if a woman applies for the same position as a man? It's more economically efficient to hire $90,000 a year salaries than $100,000 a year. So like the point that makes is that it doesn't happen. Men aren't massively unemployed in the same positions as women because it's not about there being a real wage gap. There isn't a big gap in wages. Do you guys get the point that like made? Like,
I did retweet that.
Yeah,
like I said, whenever like we started talking about the wage gap, I'm not huge on the wage gap movement just because I don't think there's that big of a gap anymore. As much as there was in like say the 50s or the 60s, like there was definitely a wage gap back then because they were like, "Fuck women, you're supposed to be getting pregnant and making my food. What are you doing?"
Hell yeah.
And that happened because men didn't want women in the workforce.
Exactly, but now there are like women-dominated fields. I'm not trying to say like there's a huge wage gap because like I tried stating that when Chris asked me because I knew y'all would be like, "You got a wage gap," but you know.
All right. I like that. That was a good. Right?
I like that. Anything else we need to go
just
over
talked
as far
like an
as
idiot.
feminism goes? Faith, any points you want to talk about when it comes to feminism before we move on?
I mean, are there any questions you'd like to ask a feminist?
Hashtag ask a feminist in the comments below. Hashtag ask a feminist.
Why don't you have purple hair?
Because I'm not a stereotypical bitch, and all
Purple hair
feminists are different.
or afro.
Oh my
two
god!
Stereotypes. Two stereotypes. Okay. Again.
Ooh, I got one. Should women be allowed to breastfeed in public / show their titties?
That's stupid.
Hell yes.
They should. Of
First
course, they should show titties.
I hate that. I hate that women and men are over sexualized to a point because it's like about breastfeeding in public. I do understand that some people can be offended by it. I don't know, like Mormons. If you're Mormon, anybody
Fuck
out
Mormons.
there, I'm sorry.
Any Mormon listening to the podcast, fucking click off. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Just don't
Religious
watch it.
celibacy. Anyway.
Mormon knocks on your door and you open it. Mormon says, "Do you know the way?"
and
joke.
podcast. Goodbye.
Okay. Chris is leaving us.
It's not like he was here in the first place.
That's true.
About
That's
breastfeeding
That's
in
fair.
public.
That's fair.
I know that it can offend some people, but honestly, like, you just gave life to this little alien-looking thing, this little bean, and you need to feed it somehow. If you're at a fucking McDonald's and you gotta whip a titty out so this little baby can suck on your nipple and
Hell
eat,
yeah.
who the hell cares? Like,
Exactly.
who are you to say, bitch, you can't fucking feed your baby here? Fucking
Yeah,
starve. I don't give a shit. That's
that problem-
wrong. I don't want my kids seeing that. Okay, you don't want your kids seeing how fucking life is made and how things live.
Yeah, that
If
problem.
you Photoshop a man's nipple over a woman's nipple,
It doesn't
is it
get
still
censored.
bad to post?
There's been posts where people have photoshopped a man's nipple over a woman's
Yeah.
nipple and it wasn't blocked.
Easy.
Yeah.
It legit was not blocked. I don't
my.
understand. It's like, okay, so
I
men
feel like-
can show their nipples, which are useless, by the way,
Yeah.
but women who actually have a use for them that isn't sexual aren't allowed to show
Maybe the
them.
use is why we're offended by them. Because they're actually
because men are mad, so they're like, look at my
Are
useless
mad
nipples.
because they can't milk
Yeah,
their
okay.
titties?
yeah. So here's
They
what
see the
happens.
nipple,
So
they're like,
men
They're like, oh, you can't show that. That's useful. Mine's not. Mine's not.
It's like that thing where you're like, no, my nipples are useful. Shut up. My nipples are special too. Look at mine. Mine are better than yours.
God,
even though
I
they're
feel like
useless.
some old fucking king, like way, way, way back in the day, is like, he's just fucking pissed his nipples don't work. And so he makes a rule: no woman can show their nipples. Men, you need to be more proud of your nipple.
Fucking what if? That's why women's nipples are so blocked now. Because one guy was just like, why the fuck do my nipples not work? Women can't show their nipples. Them shits work. I don't care.
Africa does it. We should just be like Africa. We should.
Let's be like Africa.
Hold on. The problem with Africa isn't that Africa isn't about free the titty. They don't have clothes, so that's why the titties are free. Am I wrong?
That's the most racist thing we've said on the show.
That's not even Africa is not
Poor.
even about them like their race or anything like that. They're just poor. Like
Africa
poor.
is actually
Okay. Let's
wait. Hold on. Africa.
Stop roasting Africa.
Mind blowing.
That's a whole
Hold on.
episode.
Wait, no.
That's a whole 1 hour
Wait, I have-
episode
no,
on why
I have a-
Africa
no,
sucks.
Africa
No,
is next
let me say this.
topic.
Let me-
Africa's next topic on
Okay,
episode 5.
It actually is the next
Okay,
topic.
so let's
Anyways,
follow this.
wait,
this titty stuff, and let's talk about.
No, Robbie. Let me say something. Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
Chris. Go ahead.
I was about to say, so I'm going to say an obvious statement. Africa is the poorest continent on Earth. That sounds normal, right?
Next one.
All right, you want to know something else? It's the poorest continent even when you include Antarctica, because all the scientists who go to Antarctica are rich and have a higher GDP than Africa. It's really the poorest continent, and it feels bad. Anyways, my case
Jesus
closed.
fucking
My case closed.
Poor
Real quick.
then when no one lives there. They're negatively poor. They're negatively
Have y'all
poor.
ever had Ethiopian food though?
No,
Me neither.
they don't have food.
I was like gonna
They
say
don't
neither
have
have they.
They don't have food.
Ow.
Woo! We went from feminism to roasting Africa.
Anyways,
I bless the rains
come
down in
back
Africa.
and let's follow this titty
Robbie's
thing.
convoy.
Let's-
it's
Let's talk
30
about.
minutes in.
Let's
It's
talk
30
about
minutes in.
objectification.
Objectification. That could be our last one. Yeah,
That's gonna be the last thing for
because we are
feminism.
30 minutes in, and we do have 2 other topics to cover here on Spaz Out Podcast, where we can't just have one fucking topic. That's boring as shit.
Okay.
So Faith, start us off with objectification of both men and women in the Western culture, I guess, the United States.
Woo! Okay, so this isn't just about women to me, honestly. I'm
Oh.
fucking sick of men being objectified and women being objectified.
I love being objectified.
Shut the fuck up, Caleb. He says as his girlfriend sits like 6 feet away from him.
Shout out to Bella, the original purple-haired bitch.
Yeah.
Really, though?
My girlfriend is sitting here right next to me, supporting me. You can say hi, Belle.
Hello. All right. So objectification. I want to talk about like male objectification first.
Of course, yeah.
So if we've all watched the beautiful, wonderful Stranger Things,
No,
fuck you, Caleb.
it's too strange for me. I need Stranger Things.
I want you to kill yourself. Caleb, I'm gonna ask you to do something. I want you to
Okay.
grab a belt from your closet, and I want you to hang yourself.
Okay, Faith, I wanted you to describe my room. How to the viewers? How does my room?
Fucking disgusting, but
Okay,
big.
okay. All right, Faith, don't talk about my room anymore. Anyways,
Okay.
anyways.
He has a big ass TV, so that makes up for it. Okay, objectification. Honestly, I can't take Caleb seriously right now because he's drinking from a giant.
I'm drinking
penis.
from my giant penis. I'll tweet a photo of it today.
No.
Okay.
Holy. Do you actually want to get banned from your Twitter forever?
What?
I feel like
can't
you've
get
already
banned.
tried.
Put a
Having a
cock sock
penis
over
cup?
it and say "Welcome to Chili's." Anyways,
Yeah, that's my objectification story.
God. Okay, so the star Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things, who plays Mike.
Okay, Mike and I. Sorry.
Episode 4 of Caleb should kill himself. Okay.
Jesus
Anyways.
fucking Christ.
We invite a woman on the show, and the only thing she has to say is
Is
that we should
kill
kill
yourself.
ourselves.
Yeah.
This is why we don't endorse women on the show.
All men must die. My autobiography.
Her hair just started turning purple.
Her hair's turning purple, guys.
Fuck y'all. Hey, Robbie has an afro, so I mean.
Yeah.
Look, I love all women. Come here, baby.
Ew.
All right.
Want to be in my movie?
All right.
Oh, fuck. Okay. So Finn is a 15-year-old boy, and he is an attractive 15-year-old. I can say that because I am 17 years old. It's
Okay.
not like I'm being disgusting.
Yeah.
But there are like 24-year-old women on Twitter that are like, oh my god, is it bad that I want to wait for him to turn 18 just so I can suck his dick?
That's fucking weird.
And I'm like, dude, like, men get objectified in the workplace, like on TV, in sports. I mean, like, I've seen women walk up to just some random dude in Home Depot and be like, so, do you know where the fuck this is? Because obviously you do. You're a goddamn man and you're in Home Depot. Like, my dad doesn't know absolutely everything to do with a car. You can't expect, like, every man to know exactly what the fuck to do. Like, it's just gender stereotypes rolling into objectification. And just, like, there's so much pressure on men on, like, how they're supposed to look. Just as much pressure as there is on women on how they're supposed to look.
In middle school, some kids were talking about cars and shoes. And I didn't know about cars or shoes. I didn't know the names of cars, and I didn't know the names of shoes. And so they made the connection of me being gay.
Oh,
And
my
so
God.
Yeah.
They
So-
weren't wrong.
directly like linking.
I mean, Caleb, you are drinking out of a giant penis.
Okay, I cannot argue with that. Like, I can't.
Caleb told me he wants to be gay. He's just waiting to come out.
I do. I would. Maybe it would be better if I was gay. It doesn't
It's
matter.
so not easy. It's not easy, hun.
No, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I haven't done a essay on the benefits of being gay.
Okay,
So
but
I don't.
do you want your butthole destroyed or do you want to destroy other people's?
I don't know.
And goodbye.
Bella's getting ideas.
I think
Bella's ordering a strap on for
Use
me.
that female power, Bella. And
Wait.
dominate that asshole.
I'm gonna
Jesus
cry.
fucking Christ.
Okay, so
We're done with
concludes
that.
the feminism topic for this podcast.
All right.
Oh,
Destroy
Jesus.
my asshole.
A Telltale series.
Oh my.
All
right.
Our next topic, Chris. Why don't you introduce a topic? Because
Wow,
you
I
have
get
such
to-
shit.
Poor
Wait,
baby.
do I get to talk?
Yes,
Oh
you
my
get to
god.
Talk whatever
Oh,
you
God.
want.
Oh my god. Okay, so I'm going to introduce our next topic, one that I'm personally passionate about, but I don't have very much expertise in. Feels bad. So we're going to be talking about movies. What makes a good movie? I'm also going to talk about why, in my
Titties.
opinion, 2017 blew ass with movies, and movies in 2017 sucked, or at least most of
I
them.
thought you said boobies of 2017.
Yeah, that's it, of course.
Remember, she's a lesbian, guys. Did you know that she's a lesbian?
Guys, did you know that she's from Lebanon? I heard she's
I
Lebanese.
thought you're a lesbian. I thought you were American.
And reported. So, you want me to start it off, or who wants to do this? Actually, no, I'll do.
Review
No,
the movie
no,
for us,
no,
please. Come on,
I'll
let's
do
hear
this.
it.
Take some
My
initiative, Chris.
well, this is going to tie in pretty well with the feminism thing because this directly involves it. So,
Okay.
the hot movie of summer 2017, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman.
That
Wonder
was a good
Woman.
movie. Shut the
Wonder
hell up.
Woman.
was a good movie.
Why? Wonder Woman was a fantastic movie. Nothing against it. I'm not hating on Wonder Woman. However, later at the Golden Globes, what's her name? I can't
Gal
remember her name
Gadot.
right. No, not her. Not the person
Lena
who played
Dunham.
Wonder Woman. No, the person who, when they were announcing Best Director awards, they said
Natalie
now.
Portman, that was
yeah,
her.
Natalie Portman said, and then the guy was like, "Now we're going to introduce all the candidates for Best Director," and he said, and she was like, "All of which whom are men," or something like that, which pretty much overshadowed the entire occasion. So, Wonder Woman was a great movie, but it wasn't nominated for Best Director or anything like that, and people have turned that into a gender issue now,
It wasn't
which kind of
that good. It was
which
just
kinda
a standard
bo-
superhero movie.
which
Those are
kind of
not
bothers
Oscar-worthy.
me.
Exactly.
And also superhero movies don't get nominated for Golden Globes and for Oscars. Maybe like once in a blue moon.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah, like It's not like Wonder Woman was some groundbreaking feminist movie that deserved the Best Movie Award of 2017. Great movie. Awesome superhero movie. I love superhero movies, but did it deserve a Golden Globe for, like, Best Directorship? No. But people still made it about an issue that it wasn't about. So I feel like
because
2017...
they need something to blame it on, because they're dumb fucks.
Yeah, 2017 was categorized by kind of underwhelming movies, aside from, like, maybe some good stuff that came out, like Logan, Wonder Woman, pretty much the superhero
I'm glad
movies.
you said Logan. I was about to go off about how great Logan
Logan
was.
Paul?
But let me just say, I'm a huge superhero fan, and I love Star Wars, but none of those movies deserve Oscars, except for maybe Logan.
The Disney
because
ones?
Fucking hell, Logan was a good fucking movie.
Yeah, the ones that came out this year, like the Star Wars movie
Have
that
y'all
just...
seen The Disaster Artist? I know me and Robbie went and saw it.
Yes.
Fucking slap of a movie. I fucking love that movie.
Beautiful. Beautifully
It was
directed.
a masterpiece. It was a
Let me-
masterpiece. It was a masterpiece.
But
Let me add that
hold on,
I
before
went
we-
with Caleb to a late showing, and he slept through half the movie. So that should tell you how great it was.
Because that was my second. That was my second time watching it.
Before
That
we
was my
circle
second time
jerk, wait.
watching it. The first time I watched it, I
Oh,
watched
my
it with
God.
Bella, and we couldn't find a theater that it showed in. And then second time I watched it with Robbie. Then I started getting tired because it was late, so I was like, "Fuck it! I paid for my ticket. I could do whatever I want in here."
So let me
I
get
just
this-
took a fucking nap.
So let me get this straight. You went to find it, couldn't find it, didn't watch it, then went with Robbie, watched it, but didn't actually watch it because you fell
That was the
asleep.
second time I watched it. Like I watched
So
it the first
then what
time.
did you mean the first time?
We
Because the
couldn't
first
find
time
a
you
theater
said...
that it played in, so we had to drive farther.
Oh. Well, that's a lot
So we
better
did
than we
watch it
couldn't
the
find...
first
That's a
time.
lot better than we couldn't find a theater. Because that
Okay.
means you couldn't find it at all. I was
Part
like,
two of Caleb
hell?
and Chris arguing.
yay. Anyways, so I'm going to jump back over to why I thought 2017 wasn't all that good overall. The reason why I personally think 2017 wasn't that good is I'm trying to think of movies that came out in 2017, and I'm having a damn hard time doing it. Other
Coco?
than okay,
is
I
Coco?
did, yeah. So I'm getting to that. So Coco was a good movie because I did see it.
Yeah.
What the fuck is?
but-
What are y'all talking
was
about?
It's an
wasn't it a
animated
Pixar
movie. Yeah, Pixar animation. Anyways, so
it was really
thi-
good. It kind of brought some light on the whole like Day of the Dead thing.
Yeah.
It was
so-
about Mexicans.
Oh my god,
so,
Robbie.
so I'm gonna think about it though. The movies that I can think of in 2017 are almost all superhero movies, other than The Greatest Showman, and I think that's actually a problem. Why can't I
I'm
think
gonna look
of?
up a list of them.
Why can't I think of or name like Dunkirk? That's the only other
Dunkirk
that-
was good.
That's the only other
New Harry Styles.
non actiony superhero
We're not
Marvel X-Men movie that I can think of. I think
Ooh.
that
We're not even-
2017
we're not
was
even
just
Get Out.
underwhelming.
I have not seen Get Out. I have not seen Get Out.
Baby
I-
Driver. Baby Driver was fucking
Baby Driver was
amazing.
not good.
No,
Baby
oh
Driver
my
was
God.
not good.
Why didn't
And
you
I'll
like
tell you
Baby
why.
Driver?
I'll tell you why Baby Driver was not good. I could predict every single moment of that plot. It was so stereotypical.
It was
but
funny though.
It was the cinematography. Oh, fucking fantastic! That like it was filmed perfectly. Like camera angles, CGI. Or no, they didn't use CGI, did they? Anyways, it was filmed perfectly. Like cinematic wise, perfect movie. I think the writers should be fired because I fucking hate the characters, dude. I fucking hate them so much. And I can predict every single thing that was going to happen in that movie. Except for when he drove into the truck. That's the only thing I
Yeah.
did not predict. And so, but that movie, but that was supposed to be the unpredictable thing. And it wasn't like it was a self-aware predictable. It was like, this is a generic movie script.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so
Let's talk about.
that's what made me not enjoy Baby Driver to its full potential.
Yeah, the only
Also,
movie.
about
Kevin
the
Spacey touches on gay
groundbreaking-
kids.
The
Groundbreaking
boys,
groundbreaking
not gay
movie of
kids.
2017, the Emoji Movie.
Fuck
Okay,
yeah.
shut up. I'm gonna.
Okay.
No, it
that,
was a
that
bad
that
year
was-
for movies when the Emoji Movie came out.
Okay,
That
but
was
seriously, on
legitimately
good movies, we had
one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
You actually saw it, Chris?
I saw
I
it so many times.
I
You
went
fucking
out on a date with my
We had to watch
girlfriend
it.
to see the Emoji Movie, and we were both really sad that we spent money on that after we were done. Like,
I can't
But on
believe
some
Did
like
it-
on some
wait,
actually
wait.
good. Okay.
did anyone watch Inside Out ever? at all?
That was a
Yes.
pretty good one. That was
Yeah,
pretty
the
good.
Emoji Movie was like a carbon copy of Inside Out, but 14 times worse in every possible imaginable way.
God.
It was a big advert. It was just one long advertisement.
Use emojis.
It was a bad advert too. Literally, when they stooped so low as to try and make the ending of the movie a musical. Good God, get me out of there.
It was a bad movie. It was a
Yeah.
goddamn bad movie. But there's
I-
always going to be bad movies. But every single one right now is because of cash grabbing. And so movies are profitable to these big companies that can afford it. So why not? Why not make the Emoji Movie? You know it's going to do fucking great at the box office, no matter how much of a shitty movie it is.
People are gonna still pay to see it.
No matter how much of a shitty comedian TJ Miller is, you're going to put him as a lead fucking voice actor, and you're going to get money.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the tweet storm where TJ Miller had a mental breakdown over the failure of the Emoji
Yeah.
Movie? He said it was supposed to be like a feminist thing, and that no one liked it because of that. Then he threatened to kill himself.
Jesus fucking
no,
Christ. TJ
don't
Miller's
remember
fucking
that.
insane and unfunny as fuck.
God.
I will
fuck.
I will slap TJ Miller in his mouth and make the fucking snot come out of his nose. He's fucking disgusting, and I really honestly do hate him just because he's so unfunny.
Remember, everything that Caleb says in this podcast should start with my opinion.
In my
opinion.
I'm gonna slap the shit out of fucking TJ Miller if I ever see him. I'll tell you why I won't actually, because I get fucking sued because money equals justice.
On another note, the good movies of 2017. Now that I'm looking at like a list of 2017 movies, which is kind of sad that I have to do that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, there was Atomic Blonde. I personally really
Nope.
liked
I did
it.
not see Atomic Blonde.
I saw Atomic Blonde.
Bella
I
says there's
fell
gay
asleep
action.
for about 30 minutes. I enjoyed the experience I had with it. It was a good spy movie. It had a good twist at the end, but I wish I had actually seen what happened up to it. I can't talk much on it, but I enjoyed the bit I saw.
There was, I believe it was mainly on Netflix, but it was released in 2017. Okja. It was
Okay.
about.
No, that was a good movie. That
Yeah,
was
you watched it?
Yeah,
It was really good.
yeah. I like how we're just not even describing the movies. We're just saying, "Oh yeah, that's good. That's not good."
I
That's
mean, there
good."
was
well, that's
the-
kind of what we have to do.
There
because
was that
that's how
Golden
lives
Globe nominated. I didn't.
Are we gonna
personally
count
see
Netflix
it.
movies?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No, we're not seeing it. We're not doing.
Uh-huh.
I like
Netflix
that
movies,
Netflix
Chris?
has that kind of platform where they can make their own movies and original creators get their own shit.
Mm-hmm.
What about those YouTube Red movies with Logan Paul?
that-
You know,
those are the
Thinning?
gold ones.
The
Those are the
Thinning?
gold.
The
I mean-
Lost Red series that was deleted when PewDiePie made the biggest mistake of his life.
Well,
Actually, best TV series of the
playing-
year goes to Mindfield by Vsauce.
okay. Analogy, right?
No, it
Analogy.
doesn't.
You're playing Minecraft. You're in a cave. You're mining. You're finding iron. And that's Wonder Woman. You're finding. you're
What?
finding gold. Which is fucking useless movies. But meme gold. So like Emoji Movie. Fucking, you can meme the shit out of that. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
You dig it down. You find Redstone. That's Netflix. You're like, oh, okay. And then you find the diamond, and that's Logan Paul. YouTube Red.
Okay, if I actually,
The
if I'm gonna
Minecraft
use
analogy
your,
makes it make sense because Minecraft. is-
so
I can't even finish.
Robbie, you and me are probably the two biggest superhero movie enthusiasts of this year. So for me, the three best superhero movies this year. I hope I'm
I've
not
seen
doing anything
Superbad.
injustice.
I'm a fucking superhero
That's-
movieist.
Oh my God! Stop.
Oh, anyways, I would say the three best. I'm not gonna rank them in any order because that's a sin that I will never be
Only
forgiven
Dynamite,
for.
number one.
Fuck. This year, retard.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
so Logan, Spider-Man: Homecoming, and Thor: Ragnarok. Great movies.
Spider-Man: Homecoming was good. I
was.
like that
Yeah,
movie.
Spider-Man: Homecoming was very good. Like,
Yeah, we
as
did
mu-
watch Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
I came in.
liked it.
I came in with the stigma that movie would be like just another Peter
Shit.
Parker costume boy. I was like, please don't be bad, but that was actually incredible. I enjoyed that about as much as young, naive Chris enjoyed watching the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. That was actually a great movie.
Off the top of my head, it's gonna be Logan,
Paul.
Wonder Woman, and then maybe Spider-Man.
I would
Uh,
say, did you even watch Thor: Ragnarok?
I did watch Thor: Ragnarok, but Thor: Ragnarok, while it was funny, I didn't enjoy it all that much because it just could not take itself seriously, and I thought I was watching a cartoon.
Yeah, it wasn't taking itself seriously. That's why I loved it. It was so much different than what normal actiony movies were. I loved that. Actually, I'm going to revise my list because you did bring up Wonder Woman again. I'm going to piss Robbie off and say it was Homecoming, Ragnarok, and Wonder Woman.
Fuck
Not
you!
What? Are you mad because you look like Wolverine
Really?
too? That's why you're pissed off?
Logan was fucking great. Shut the hell up, dude. I'm gonna hurt you.
And case
Reading off
closed
superhero
forever.
movies
Wait,
for
there
a
was
second. The
there-
remake of It, honestly, in my opinion, was amazing because I read the book, okay? I love Stephen King. I'm honestly a fucking Stephen King stan over here. I stand him
Apparently,
so
I look
hard.
like one of the characters from It, and I still
But-
haven't seen it, so I don't know.
But
which one.
honestly, it was amazingly directed. It was so close to the book. It was beautiful.
Get it? It was amazingly directed.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. I loved
I'm
it.
gonna cry.
I've never seen the original. I've never read the
The
books.
depiction of Pennywise from book to this movie was just spot on.
But the fucking visual effects were beautiful.
Mhm.
Aside from maybe like the intro scene. Like I watched that and I was like, holy shit, that looks awesome.
It fucked me up.
Like I couldn't be afraid. I was too busy in awe of the quality of those effects.
Can we talk about the
So-
dance he does?
So we've done nothing but praise the movies of 2017. So
Yeah, but
why
what about
why
the
do you
shitty
ask?
ones?
Why do
there
you
was
ask?
There was a Transformers movie. Who fucking cares?
Who fucking
Yeah.
saw that?
There was a Will Smith movie. What the fuck?
The Chinese saw the Transformers movie and I'm sure it made a few $1 million.
Can we talk about that one? I don't know if it came out this year or last year. That movie, The Wall, where it was about like the Great Wall of China, and it was kept up so that like these mutants wouldn't jump over it and kill everybody in China.
Was Lego Batman good?
Did not see it.
I love how you ask Robbie, like, "Hey,
Yeah.
here's the biggest nerd in the room.
Yeah.
Was Lego Batman good?"
I mean,
Or
who
the
else
Planet of
would
the
watch
Apes, that
Lego
last
Batman
one,
here?
The last one to come up with like the whole apes thing. That was bad.
We were supposed to see
War
that,
of the
but
Planet
then
of the
we never
Apes,
did.
terrible.
It was bad.
I
Oh,
saw it, it was
what's it
fucking
called?
dumb.
What's it called? This is also
Yeah, I
considered in
literally
2017. I can't believe I didn't think about this. While it was an enjoyable movie, the plot and some of the concepts made me want to kill myself. Jumanji? Hello?
Oh my god.
Oh no, Okay, I will give it points. I went and saw Jumanji recently, and we went to
It's
that theater
enjoyable.
planning to fucking tear it apart, like it was
What?
gonna be the fucking shittiest movie in the whole world because it had Dwayne the Rock Johnson, it had Kevin Hart, and it had Jack,
Jack
Black,
Black.
a fucking horrible trilogy, like just like a curse. But I went into that movie thinking I was gonna shit on it, and it was not that bad, and it was pretty good, I would give it a strong 6, which is not a bad score, and that's all I really got to say about it. Plot didn't move along the way that I thought it would. Wasn't predictable to me. I thought the jokes were mildly clever.
Some of the jokes were funny, but some of them were not good at all.
I did not like any basic white girl jokes. That was fucking so forced, and it was so god awful. But
You just
development was nice.
sounded like
The
one right
concept-
there.
They assumed a lot of things, the characters in that one. So like with the tattoos on of like their lives, and they're like, oh, if we lose all 3 lives, we die in real life. Who fucking said that? Who? How do you know that you're gonna die in real life?
So I didn't
You
see
won't.
Jumanji, and I know Caleb didn't see this next movie I'm about to talk about. But The Last Jedi came out this year. Biggest movie of probably the whole year. Every time a Star Wars movie comes out.
I have crosswords for that film.
You can already tell Chris is mad. I liked the movie, but I'm still not sure if I liked it for the right reasons. Very divisive film.
So I'm going to... This is a minor spoiler. I'm not going to spoil any big plot points. This is just something ridiculously stupid that happens in the movie. I'm going to
Leia.
bring up a sensitive subject, but who cares? So,
Leia.
as you all know, Carrie Fisher is no longer alive.
Yes.
It's very sad. Carrie Fisher was a wonderful actress, great person. However, in the movie, there is a scene where Carrie Fisher very obviously, I should be referring to her as Leia. Leia should have died. Like, dead. No more. That's the end of her. She's no longer in the series. But they had to pull out the worst, probably the worst CGI / camera angling I've ever seen, where she's dead in space. The Force surrounds her. She opens her eyes and just flies to another ship. and is alive for some magical reason that makes
I'm Mary
absolutely no
Poppins,
sense.
y'all.
It was the most disgusting looking scene I've ever seen in entirely 2017. Like, I would rather watch the end dance credit scene of the Emoji Movie than what happened in Star Wars 8. I would actually prefer
That's a
watching
strong
the entire Emoji Movie. While I would be upset, I would still not be as confused and as disturbed as I was during Star Wars 8. I was like, wait, Disney, billion-dollar company, huge money, huge amounts of time, and that is their, like, wraparound to keep her alive and with the worst CGI possible.
Star Wars made up for it with the hyperspace scene. They made up for it. I forgave them as soon as I saw that. That's where all their budget went.
Also, their big plot twist, like, towards the end was super predictable, which made me mad because I figured out what was happening, like, about 15 minutes in advance, and I was like, oh, God, I know exactly what's going on. This is going to bother me so much.
Well, to wrap up the movie conversation, what would y'all like to see in a movie in 2018?
Faith, go first.
I thought, like
I
Robbie
want to see
said.
Faith in a movie.
I'd like to see something that's not so, like Caleb was saying about some movies that were put out this year. Not just that, not just cash grabby, but like so predictable.
Oh yeah.
Like where I want to see a good action movie that you're not like, oh, the car is gonna burst into flames. Oh, the hero is gonna pull the girl out of the truck and they're gonna roll to safety. Like no, I want to see the car burst into flames and I want to see the girl get killed and the hero is like, oh my god, fuck, and maybe gets like blamed for it. Like I want to see some twisty shit.
So Faith just went through two feminist issues right there, both the damsel in distress
Oh my
and the
God.
woman stuck in the refrigerator, both of which are deemed bad by most feminists.
Woman stuck in the refrigerator. What the fuck did you just say?
That's like
I'm
a
saying
The
what's
kitchen.
usually in fucking action movies, you ass.
that's like a cliche where like the female
Stuck
love
in a
interest gets
refrigerator?
killed and stuck in a refrigerator and the dude opens it. Oh my god. It happened in like a comic book or something. That's why it's named after that.
Oh.
But it's like a cliche thing that women
okay.
women die to push the men into doing stuff.
Well,
so
women almost never die. Like, have you ever noticed that?
It
Like,
could be the guy's best friend or something that's like a dude who gets killed and they're like, oh my god, you killed him. He's like, no, dude, I tried saving him.
I want to see the amount of women that get killed in movies and the amount of men that get killed in movies.
Really?
It's fucking, like, do you know how many men that die in movies?
Really, though?
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck?
if you're watching like the second Avengers, like the male character who was newly introduced gets killed to like I don't see any
I
female
want the
characters
women in horror movies.
to
I
die.
want one horror movie where two of the women in the movie don't go, oh my god, what's that sound in the basement? And then they get killed. Or one of the women are like, oh my god, I'm running from the serial killer. And then they trip in the woods. They're like, oh my god, my foot. I'm too much of a pussy to get up and run away.
Yeah. Okay, did any of the Amazon ladies and Wonder Woman actually die?
Yes.
How many? Like a lot of them?
okay, so there's a scene in the Wonder Woman movie where a bunch of Germans land on the beach, and then the Amazons with their swords and shields try to go after these dudes with muskets, and it's kind of a massacre.
And okay, but they end up winning that battle though. So
A lot of them are killed.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's understandable. Okay, I take back that whole whatever.
It was
I
a little
going
bit
for.
realistic.
Yeah, just bring it back. Resent.
I would wager Anakin killed more children in Star Wars Episode 3 or Revenge of the Sith than the amount of women that have died in films.
And that's
And
That's
not even
abortion.
not even to mention the extra
Anakin Walker has
massacred.
committed abortion.
I
Baby killer.
also think that
So-
I'm throwing this back
Not
to
just
Star Wars before we actually
but the
lose
women
this.
and the children too.
Oh my
the thing
god,
that-
what if we just start, like,
the-
people who
the-
are protesting abortion at abortion clinics just start having posters of Anakin's face on it?
Yes.
Is so that's what we want to see more in movies is less predictability. What do you want to
Yeah.
see, Chris?
So I agree with that. I want to see less predictability. Let's see. I want to see. This is just one genre of movies, the one that I talk the most about. So from the newer
yeah.
movies that are coming out for like Marvel or like
Yeah, kids shows
superhero,
and
those caliber, like action movies, I want more actual character development. And what I mean by that is there's some characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just because that's the one I'm the most familiar with, who needed so much character development it wasn't funny. Like, they were actually useless other than, like, stereotypes and their powers in battle. For example, Thor. He was completely useless as a character, and all he was the big strong guy with a hammer from Norway.
Well,
and nobody knew anything about him. And then Thor Ragnarok came out, and he had one of the best personalities in the world. I want to see more of that.
The main issue with character development.
Yeah.
Fuck.
The main issue with character development is you have to be a good writer, and Hollywood is full of hacks.
Yeah, but it's motivation. Like
Really?
the character's motivation. A lot of times, for an example, in Baby Driver, I'd be like, "Why the fuck did you just do that?" And never explained.
That was the biggest problem with Wonder Woman, because the
Yeah,
message of the
why?
movie is that sometimes men are evil, not because a god is controlling them, but just because they are evil. Well, then the last third act of the movie is evil man is controlling men and making war happen. So Wonder Woman kills him, and then war ends. Fuck you.
What, like
Robbie to feminists. Fuck you.
a lot?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I hate to be like so niche or whatever. Like, I like get specific, but there was one Black Mirror episode which I bitched about today already.
This is gonna be in every podcast. Caleb's gonna bitch about this Black Mirror episode.
It
Just you
is.
guys wait and see.
It is. It's so fucking like it's the. Okay, so it's a pretty popular series, but basically, let me describe it real quick. It's an alternate reality where like everybody has like an avatar and they're stuck biking for powering something. They're all stuck biking, so they wake up every day. And then they get shit tons of advertisements that they have to pay their bike. Like they make money or their credits by biking, like a workout bike, and then they spend that money either skipping advertisements or on food. And so,
Oh,
one,
jeez, Rick, isn't that slavery with
That's
extra steps?
and like it's never explained. It's never explained at all. The characters in it, the main character, they're like, okay, why did he just do that? Fuck all knows why. That character could be replaced with any human being in the whole world, and it still wouldn't fucking make sense. Like, it's just things like that. It could be produced, it could be filmed so fantastically, but if the story moves slow and I have no idea what the characters are doing or why they're doing it, it's a bad movie. That's why I enjoy Baby Driver, because not only can I predict what he's gonna do, but I don't even know why the fuck he's doing it.
So let me just conclude by saying the only thing I want to see in films this year, the year of 2018, I want to see Thanos fuck the Avengers up. That's all I'm here
Yes.
Well, he
Infinity
will.
War.
He's
Put
already.
Spider-Man in the
He's
Avengers,
already.
please. Yeah.
Spider-Man is now an
We got that-
Avenger.
We got that wish. We got that wish. In
Spider-Man is now an
2017.
Avenger, despite declining to be an Avenger the last time we saw him.
All right.
Well,
The podcast is hitting about an hour now. That's probably all the time we have for today. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. I'll put Faith's Twitter in the fucking description. I'll put Chris's Twitter in the fucking description, spelt right. I'll put Robbie's Twitter. I'll put my Twitter. Follow us. We'll be making a Twitter account. Definitely follow us on SoundCloud. Definitely like this thing. Definitely fucking repost it if you want to.
Definitely masturbate to our pictures.
Definitely masturbate to our pictures and objectify us.
did I?
That is
Oh my
all we
God.
That's
have
our
today for today in the Spaz Out episode 4. Goodbye forever.
Thank y'all for having me.